Yet another inmate, but this time officials say it was staffers at the jail who let him walk out. CBS News reporter Katie Weiss has details.
What's up, y'all? We are back. This is Fugitive TV. New Orleans, y'all back up in the news again, and for another escaped inmate. But this time, the inmate didn't escape. They let that walk right out.
Thank you very much. Now, you might remember this chaotic scene. This is 10 inmates breaking out of a New Orleans jail earlier this year. Well, we have an update for you. Another manhunt underway right now for yet another inmate, but this time officials say it was staffers at the jail who let him walk out. CBS News reporter Katie Weiss has details.
We talking about Khalil Bryan. Now, they just let him walk right out. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on in New Orleans Parish, County Jail, whatever you want to call it. But somebody got to answer for this, and I got to be the sheriff. So what are these deputies doing? So supposedly Khalil got mistakenly let go and walked out because his last name, Bryan, was actually almost the same as another inmate's last name that was supposed to go home. So instead of letting the guy that was supposed to go home or released, they released the wrong Bryan. They released this guy.
Just over 2 months after this brazen breakout from a New Orleans jail, another inmate is on the run. This time after officials say they accidentally let out 30-year-old Khalil Bryan.
Even though it was a mistaken release from custody, you are on notice, you are a fugitive.
The Orleans Parish Sheriff says Bryan's release was a clerical mistake. He was confused with another inmate set for release sharing a similar last name.
The mistaken release of Khalil Bryan was a serious error, and as sheriff, I take full responsibility. While our systems are designed to...
Khalil. Now, my question is, when you go to jail, for you people that's never been in jail before, you go through booking. They take your fingerprints and they take your pictures, and then you have a file. Every time you're in a jail, like in a pod, in a cell, that pod has all the files of everybody that's in there.
Look at what she has to throw away. The sheet, the files, and anything that's liquid and stuff you can have.
On those files is your picture. Your picture is usually on the file. So when they call your name and say pack it up, that means pack it up, you're moving or going home. They got your file right there with your picture on it. So how did they mistaken him for somebody else? They're not saying who the other person is. Now I'm wondering if the other person looked like him. Now here's the thing. The one they let out, this guy's 6'4", I think almost 300 pounds or something. This guy is huge. So the other guy had to be almost the same. It don't make sense. And they're talking about, oh, maybe the guards who let him out, maybe they might get charged. Maybe. Well, y'all didn't waste no time charging my boy who is the maintenance worker when supposedly he shut off the water and let the other 10 mates out. You know, he didn't let it out. He just shut the water off. He in jail still, and he fighting these charges.
A former Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office employee charged in helping 10 inmates escape will be in court today.
Yeah, we're talking about Sterling Williams, the maintenance worker, one of a dozen people arrested accused of helping in that jailbreak. Williams is the only person employed at the time of that escape here, or the only employee, rather. Winston Reed is live at the criminal court ahead of today's hearing with more on what to expect. Good morning to you.
Y'all ain't arrest nobody else, no other inmates, but y'all want to arrest Williams, the inmate, the janitor, the person, not janitor, I'm sorry, the maintenance worker, the person who shut off the water.
His attorney has been adamant that his client, Sterling Williams, is innocent in this case. Williams is facing 10 counts of principal to simple escape and 1 count of malfeasance in office. He is accused of shutting off the water to the cell where 10 inmates escaped from back in May. This would have allowed them to cut through the wall and the bars behind a sink and a toilet. Now, Williams' attorney told WWO that his client was actually ordered to shut off the water by a deputy and that he believes Williams is being used as a fall guy.
But y'all don't want to take responsibility for what y'all just did. Now, we're going to figure out who this guy is. Now, Do you think that he's going to turn himself in? Do you think he's going to stay on the run? Now, the other inmates, Derrick Groves is the only one so far who hasn't got caught. I don't think he's in the state anymore. All the rest of them fools, they stayed in the state. They was down the street from the jail. I don't know what they was doing. The only two of them that we know of got caught out of state in Texas. At least they was trying. But everybody else got caught literally minutes from the jail. So do you think this guy is staying in New Orleans still? Or you think he was like, no, I'm out of here? Now, we're going to take a look at who this guy really was. I grew up watching friends die, friends go to jail. I thought that would never be me, till the day I decided to pawn a TV that my friend gave me. That TV ended up being stolen. One thing led to another. Going in and out of jail, I escaped twice. I started one of the biggest crime rings in the state. 10 years it gave me. My 3-year-old son passed away during this process. I could not take it, so I went on the run for 15 years. Different countries, different names, I did it all. My life has been something you only read about in books, but this is nonfiction. This is me. All right, so we're going to learn a little bit about Khalil and what's going on with him. Let's figure out if he's too dangerous to be on the streets and how he even got out in the first place and what he's even in there for. Let's figure this out right now. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right. So I do know, which I forgot to mention before, is that they waited, I think, 8 or 10 hours before they even said that he was like, or they released any news that he was gone. They did the same thing with Derrick Groves and them when they left. They waited a long time to announce this. All right, so the New Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office mistook him for a person with the same last name who was slated to leave the lockup. So I wonder if that person actually got released or did he have to stay in jail? What's going on with him? So what is his record? Bryan was being held at the Orleans Parish Jail on a $125,000 bond. Ooh-wee. For failure to appear at his first arraignment, along with several fresh felony charges. So it sounds like to me, your arraignment court date is usually your very first court date. You show up, they tell you what your charges are, and then you plead guilty or not guilty. Now, it also says with several fresh felony charges. So he probably was going to show up to court and they were going to hit him with more charges, which means if they hit you with more charges in court, you're going to have to re-bond out. So he was already on bond. He goes to court. They go, oh, there's new charges. Then they're going to take you back to jail, which means you got to re-bond out. Now, when you go back to jail, sometimes that can hurt your first bond and it revokes it. So you got to do it all over again. So I can see why he skipped out on that one.
Khalil Bryan.
Everybody good?
I have a statement to read. So, the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office mistakenly released Khalil Bryan. He's an African-American male. His birthday is July the 9th, 1995. He has a criminal history that does include not only property crimes, but he does have a violent criminal history as well. It's a serious history. We're going to give it to you in a minute. But the charges against Mr. Bryan include possession of stolen property, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer. Additionally, he has an active warrant from Criminal District Court Section H for aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic abuse, child endangerment, and home invasion. He was, at the time of his release, he was also being held as part of a warrant for Jefferson Parish. In addition, his criminal history includes aggravated burglary, aggravated assault with a weapon, aggravated criminal damage to property, felon in possession of a firearm, and drug law violations. At present, the New Orleans Police Department's Violent Offender Warrant Squad is actively searching for Bryan, and our department is responding with urgency.
Bryan is facing charges of illegal possession of stolen property, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer. Sounds like he was driving, maybe got pulled over, and they had a little marijuana on him, and he said he's not going to jail. He also faces charges from last year, including aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic abuse, child endangerment, home invasion, and possession of a firearm by a felon. So it sounds like he ran up into somebody's house, either a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, a family member, child was there, and had the thing on him, and that's what happened. Additionally, he had an open warrant for his arrest in Jefferson Parish stemming from a 2023 case. So he had an open warrant already from 2023. How does this work? How does that work? Where authorities allege he engaged in a high-speed chase with sheriff's deputies in a stolen car on a West Bank freeway. I don't know how that works. As a result of the chase, Bryan was accused of aggravated flight, aggravated criminal damage to property. He's also wanted for missing a court hearing. So he missed a court hearing a year ago, 2024. And he's... In 2014, Bryan also pled guilty to armed robbery and armed first-degree robbery. Bryan, who was 18 at the time, admitted to robbing a man at gunpoint. This man was a straight-up goon. Menace. Ain't no word to... The only thing you can say is that. So, once again, do you think this guy... How long do you think he's going to be on the run for? You think he's going to make it longer than the other 9 inmates that got caught? Escaped through the hole, supposedly. Once again, I don't think they escaped through the hole. I think they got let out. I think, Antoine's telling the truth. They got let out. And it's kind of funny how we ain't hearing nothing from them. It's like they locked them up in Angola and they vanished. They're not using the phone. They're not talking to nobody. No, you don't hear nothing from them at all. So I don't know. I find the whole thing funny. There's no guards that's been arrested from that so far. But everybody arresting everybody else, even their mama and grandma. I mean, go look. Everybody else got arrested, but there's no guards. Some guards on administrative leave. Man, I don't know. But then you got this guy that got mistakenly let out. What do you think? Do you think they let him out on purpose? Or you think, it was really a mistake? I don't know, bro. But this is Fugitive TV. Hope y'all like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Please, it don't cost you a thing. I'm trying to grow this channel so people will know my story too. Remember, I was a 15-year fugitive on the run. So I got my book coming out. I hopefully once that book's done, I got a bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to turn this into a movie, a series. So support me. We all support each other. Fugitive TV, and I'm out.